now it's time to turn it up. Surf the radio waves as we begin to burn it up. We all up in your area like landscape, definitely bringing you the power slam and pancakes. It's the mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really could have devoured him. And from that point then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Power Slam show. Let's go! Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam show. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam show. Turn it up. Oh no!
I didn't mean to run into you.
You are now listening to the Pancakes and Powerslam show by Crave Wrestling on Blog Talk Radio. Be sure to follow Crave Wrestling on Twitter at Crave Wrestling and join the Facebook fan page Crave Wrestling.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 393. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Pancakes and Power Slam show. I am Chris Featherstone here, getting funky like a monkey live and in living color, if you will, baby. Yeah. So I'm really excited about tonight. Very, very excited about tonight. Let's see here. All right, just a moment. Hold tight. All right, you ready to rock? All right, here we go. Just a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, he is former WCW star. He's in the building. Ice Train. How you doing tonight, sir?
Awesome. How are you doing tonight? How are your fans doing?
What's
going on?
Doing wonderful, man. Doing wonderful. It's great to have you on the show tonight.
Awesome. Let's chop it up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's been a while. You retired in, 2001 during the close of WCW?
Man, 2001, let me see. I'm not going to call it retirement. I call it just a nice, long hiatus. I just took a nice, long break.
Nice.
Just a good break.
It's a good break, yeah.
And when I cut And when I cut my Facebook on, I guess about 45 days ago,
Uh-huh.
and it's been wrestling and interviews for the last 2 straight months. It really has.
Wow. Nice.
And people were like, where did you, I cut my Facebook on, my son's like, hey man, Dad, you're doing a lot of great things in the gym. Can you just cut your Facebook on? I said, yep, I'm just going to do it under my name, Harold Hope. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to get ready for this bench press. For my birthday, I'm going for like without my shirt on, about a 700-pound bench press. And do my deadlift. So I start, just doing my Facebook, showing my workouts to my friends in college and stuff like that, man. And just having fun with it. And next thing I know, I'm old school. I'm like, what is Messenger? Man, it was like all kind of people from 2002 trying to get me to wrestle in New York, people from Vance. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Wow.
I turned it on. It was things on there from 2003, I believe. That was the first text I got from a guy who wanted me to come do an autograph session. So when I cut it on, that's how I got to meet you. No Messenger, no Chris, That's how it was, man.
Yeah, man. That's,
so God is good.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that, and all my fans know how serious I am about that too. All right, let's see here. Yeah, we got a lot of people on here ready to rock and roll. So the hashtag is going to be Ask Ice Train. I'm going to put that on there now. So an 18-year hiatus. I'll take it. I'll take
man,
the 18
I really, I see DDP I do my once a year reunion with him, give him a high five, shake his hand.
Yeah.
I always talk to Teddy Long. I would bump into some of my friends from Europe here and there, and they would all say, what are you doing? I said, man, I'm just enjoying life. And my sons, one of my sons graduated, got to watch all his college games. And, every weekend I was in Indianapolis watching the game at Ball State. Went to a couple bowl games with Lil Harold.
Okay.
Also, my other son runs track for Morehouse College in Georgia. My other son, he's a boxer.
Wow.
Probably turn pro in the next year. And I've been doing, my daughter's a pianist. That's what she calls it, the pianist. And my wife, she does her church thing, and she does her talk show, working on her podcast called Sit and Stand.
Oh, nice.
And man, I just been chilling where she talks to people and counsels them about God, and man, it's just been positive. And I go to the weight room. That's what I do.
I love it, man. My fans, the PNP Nation is what they're called on my show. They know that I'm a very devout Christian. I'm actually in ministry myself. Yeah, that's every time I hear a wrestler talk about Jesus, man, it warms my heart.
Do you know, Chris? I thought God was mad at me before I went back to WCW. Chris, did you know I was on TVN for 6 straight weeks?
Wow.
Paul Crouch used to call my house, and I knew that at that time in my life that I never played with God, because God has always been my provider. I'll tell you the story of how I went back to WCW for a second time, and give me a moment to tell you that story, but I'm going to intrigue you with this one. I used to be on TV. Me and Lee Haney used to get up in the morning and work out. That's how, we would talk about things. And I did one of the highest rated shows on PBN before I started wrestling, get called Demons in the Bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell Haney, I was like, Lee Haney, he's a very good friend of mine, a very devout Christian too. I would tell Haney, I said, man, do you know every time that you lie and you fornicate and you sin, you got all these angels around you, and then on the other side, you got demons around you. He's like, what? I said, brother, think about it. In the world, man, bro, if you out there, you got 3 chicks in the bed with you, and you're a pro wrestler, pro football player, pro basketball player. I blew his mind. I said, what is that? Lee was like, no, that's just sex with 3 girls and you fornicate. I said, no, brother, see, the devil is deeper than that, Chris. We ain't going to go on the God tip, but I tell people all the time, it's really deeper than that. Mm-hmm. You have so many channels that's going on in your universe where you don't know what's about to happen,
Spirit realm.
what's about to transpire.
Yeah.
But when you're walking in that gulf of sin, man, it seems like a party, brother. And that's what's wrong, in my world of wrestling, man. It was a lot of pro wrestling was a great business, but man, I'll tell you, you talking about some stories, Jesus Christ. What a wild time. A lot of my brothers have fallen off because nobody never really sat down with them and talked to them about God. You got to remember, a lot of guys come into this business, they're bodybuilders, steroids, strippers, stuff like that. They come into the business already spiritually unclean. And you put money and drugs on top of that, Chris, you got a nightmare.
Yeah.
You got the suicide rate. But on the other side, man, it's so many beautiful people. The Triple H, the Eric Bischoff. Man, I love Eric Bischoff. Man, Eric Bischoff was so good to me. Ernest the Cat Miller, brother. You talking about Booker T, Stevie Ray. Diamond Dallas Page, pretty cool too. But you got a lot of good guys. And then, but the public, they only hear the sad story, bro.
Yeah.
They only hear the story. I just met Devon Hughes the other day at an autograph session. Man, it was like a brother. When I met Devon, it was like a brother that I had never met in my life. It was like, it really was, man. It was like he walked over to me. I was sitting down at the autograph session. I think I was talking to Tim Horner, and we were just chopping up the train. He looked like he just walked out the ring. I said, lies count, even good lies, little lies. He said, no, man, you look, man, that's crazy how you still look 20 years later. Yeah. And then Devon came. Just some great guys that I've never met, from WWE, man. And I got to see Ron Simmons and one of my idols, Butch Reed and Brian
Hacksaw.
Clark. Yes, oh man, Hacksaw, what a real brother, man. What a man. Butch Reed is a man. Just real. And Ron Simmons, still my big brother. And we got to laugh and we got to talk about my kids. He said, you've been just, I said, man, just to have my sons, my one son got his master's.
Oh, nice.
My other son, my son got it, and then my other son is going to Morehouse. And I did. Now I got daughters too. Now my daughters, they're the tough ones right there. Boy, they're the tough ones, but my wife deals with them mostly. I kind of let my wife deal with them. But man, ask me any question you want to ask me. I'm sit up here and I'll talk about God and Ron Simmons and DDP and DDP yoga, and I'll bore the heck out of you, man. Look, just chop it up. Ask me anything you want to, bro.
I like the name dropping because I had actually most of those people on my show that you said. I've had Bischoff on my show. I've had DDP on my show. I've had Booker T on my show. You said someone else that I've been trying to get Butch Reed, man. If you know where Butch Reed is,
I can get. You know what? I can get Teddy to get in touch with Butch, man.
Okay.
Butch just be on that farm. But let me tell you something, man. That Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, I've had Bischoff
on
my show twice. Yeah, cool dude.
Man, Bischoff was one of the most pure people. They couldn't lie to you, and that's what made Eric Bischoff a good person. He never knew how to lie. Do you know, man, it was so funny, man. Let me tell you the story. So one day I called Dallas. I'm training. I'm in good shape. I'm like, what? This is garbage. You fired me because basically I had I was my own man. I wasn't about to be, if I didn't want to talk to you that day, you could read me wrong. And I felt like they wasn't developing me. I could dunk. I could jump. Honestly, I was the strongest man ever put some. You could talk Bill Kazmaier, but other than Bill and Ted Arsenio, I'm the strongest ever person ever put some boots on, but I'm the most athletic person ever put some boots on. I can tell you that for a fact. Nobody never talked about the 700-pound bench press. Nobody, just the 3-time All-American. That stuff was just underneath. Yeah. And it began, as I grew up, Chris, it began to bother me. When I would watch a guy who I thought couldn't walk and chew bubblegum, but you just pushing the mess out of him. Never flunked the drug test, never took a steroid up there. Never. They all, man, I took more drug tests for WCW, man. it was their way to get me out the door if they wanted to. Because like, man, this dude is just never gonna flunk a trade. No, I never did it.
Wow.
And I never did it. You know, it was crazy, man. It was so many politics, but with Bischoff, when Eric was there, man, it was great for an African American. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
He hired more African American people ever in the South, ever. Bobby Walker. I remember when me and Harlem Heat came in together, and they probably wouldn't care either. Man, we wasn't even making $1,000 a week.
Wow.
We're on the road. They were doing main events. I promise you they wasn't making that much money. Because we was running around 5 in the van. And they probably laugh at it to this day. But they paid their dues, man. And they were doing main events. And they were just not paying them, you know. And they was my brothers. So I can say that, man. We was down.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Booker T and Stevie Ray, man, we was good. They were talking about 2 straight-up real brothers. And they would be with me and my brother Scotty. We would be on the road, man. We would just laugh all day long. And I remember Booker T would get so mad every night. He would want to fight the Shockmaster because he would put all that weight on top of Booker's ribs. Booker would come back to the arena just so hot. But, man, you're talking about just a great time. But Eric Bischoff. So one day I called Eric Bischoff. I'm going to give you the spiritual side. I woke up, and God said, call Eric Bischoff. Well, I didn't have his number. I called DDP. DDP said, bro, they're not hiring anybody, bro. Bro, it's over, man. WCW, man. They only paying like, you know, it ain't the kind of contracts you want to train. And why you not going to Vince? I said, God didn't tell me to call Vince McMahon. He told me to call Eric Bischoff. So 10 minutes later, 9:30 rolls around, I call Eric Bischoff. This is what he told me, Chris. Man, I have been looking for you. Where have you been?
Oh.
Now, that's the funny side of the business where you think everybody's your friend. They're going to mention you, talk. Man, it's one of the most selfish businesses you can get into because guys are all about their self. And if I would have listened to Dallas, I would have never became Am I Smooth. Eric Bischoff was so excited to see me, but the powers to be, just imagine you making over 6 figures sitting at home for a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting at home just doing gardener work for a whole year because the other people who were the other writers like, man, there he go again with Ice Train and blah, 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 blah. And then I finally got the program with Canyon. I know I did the Am I Smooth thing. Eric Bischoff was going to go to Fuchsia. Him and Jimmy Hart took me to the back room, Chris, and they told me they're going to repackage me, do my whole thing. Said, man, we're going to give you the push. We think you got the charisma, and we know how. And Jimmy Hart was really behind it. He was like, I just think you got a lot of charisma, and we have not developed you right. Mm-hmm. And, man, when the Fuchsia thing didn't come, and I got all excited to go work for Bischoff because I knew if I worked for Bischoff, if I worked hard, and he put me in a good program, it was going to be good. Because I was a little tough to work with. If I ain't like you, it could be a bad match. You know, if I liked you, if I knew you could move, and I just wasn't going to do a bunch of tackles and hitlocks. I like to jump and leap, and I just like to have fun in my matches, and that's what happened to Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice, man, we couldn't get out the locker room together. But I'll tell you this, if we would have been a little bit different time, I believe me and Norton could have been one of the best.
Yeah.
But at that time, we just wasn't.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, man. Well, it's funny because I followed you all through your WCW career, and it's funny because I just wanted to just go back for a second. I watched what was it? It was a match. I think it was on Nitro. Might have been on Thunder, but it was either Nitro or Thunder. It was between you and Ming, and I saw you. And, man, you, just like you were saying, you did a leapfrog, a 300-pound leapfrog on Ming, and you did like one of those running cross bodies. Yeah. And it was pretty impressive, man. I was like, all right. And with I remember Norton, too. I remember when I've had Norton on my show. And I don't know. I have to remember. I have to look in listen to the archives and see if we talked about his teaming up with you. But I remember Fire and Ice, and I was like, why aren't this team getting a push, but for some reason, it was kind of odd, like you said, it was kind of odd timing to me because it just seems like Norton just had that, NWO type of heel feel to him still. And I know you guys were feuding with the Steiners, if I'm not mistaken, for a little bit. And then you had the, you guys were in the Battle Bowl and you were selected as a team, randomly selected as a team. But as far as I remember, I know that you guys were teaming up together, and then y'all were like beating each other up in the match, and y'all that's how y'all became a team and earned each other's respect. Now, was that backstage? Is that how it was supposed to formulate as far as the team is concerned? Or was that booked that way?
Let me tell you how it was. Everybody. This is how I looked at Fire and Ice. Norton at that time didn't really understand, because all he did was an NWO, is just basically became a B teamer for the NWO.
Right.
It wasn't like he was up there with Hogan and stuff like that. He was with Bagwell, so he was still a B teamer.
Mm-hmm.
When Norton was with Fire and Ice and the Steiners got some of the highest ratings ever in WCW. Those matches. Because nobody ever clotheslined the Steiners like we did, not even the Road Warriors. It was back, if you ever watched the matches, it was back and forth.
Oh, yeah, I remember them.
It really was. And I love working with Rick and Scotty. And I think Norton just thought I was a mean-ass person. Excuse my language. When I say but, I mean, at that time, you probably thought I was mean. At that time, I had been with Ron Simmons, and I saw the disaster before it hit. It was like, okay, this is almost another Ron Simmons and Ice Train. And it wasn't because the tag team wasn't getting over. Wrestling is entertainment. You can push something. They didn't push that down to people's throat. And next thing you know, we're doing one match together, and we're doing a pay-per-view, and we broke up. It was because I believe that at that time Norton just felt he wanted to be on his own. And he thought he was going to get the Japan push on his own. But basically, it never happened. He never got to come in there and beat Sting and all those other guys. He still stayed down there, kind of dealing with the same people I dealt with.
Yeah.
It could have. I think Fire and Ice, both of us dropped that ball. He don't have to admit it. But when people think of Norton, they think of Norton, the NWO, but they think of Norton with Fire and Ice. They had an article, one of the wastedest tag teams ever with WCW was Fire and Ice. It was.
Yeah, it was.
And people felt that way.
Yeah.
They was like, man, they put them out there and they're done. It made no sense. But if you know what, I believe that I don't think that Norton just thought I was just a mean person. He just thought I was like arrogant, green. No, I could work a match with Finley better than anybody because I worked him in Germany with him. No. And Norton I don't think he liked doing the jobs to me. I think he did like 5 jobs to me where he had to lose the matches. That probably killed his ego too. But the point of it is, we all lose matches in wrestling. It doesn't matter who it is. I just thought Fire and Ice was a great idea by Eric Bischoff, and there was nothing. Once you don't put any money and time into it, it doesn't work anyway. That's the simplest way to get past that conversation.
Yeah.
There was no money, there was no time put into Fire and Ice. It was 2 guys thrown together after 3 matches on TV. They were just nice, stiff, and solid, and they put us together, and they pulled us apart quicker than they put us together. Was it my fault? I guess. Was it his fault? I don't know. But I would take the blame on Fire and Ice. And I enjoyed my run with Chris Kanyon because the matches I had with Kanyon were really good.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good athlete. I enjoyed working with Chris.
Yeah, he definitely was a good athlete. I agree. All right, so I got some questions for you, Train. So the hashtag is Ask Ice Train. Got some short answer questions for you. The leader is asking, do you watch wrestling today? And if so, what do you think about it?
Man, I watch wrestling because I get to see my little mini me out there. I believe Big E Langston. It reminds me of myself.
Sure does. Yeah, definitely. I think there is some there's some chat of Big E's resemblance on the chat room. Mo is asking, if you didn't retire before the WWE merger, what do you think your career would have been in WWE?
You know what? I think after the deal with Eric Bischoff with the fusion, I wasn't in, like I told Ron Simmons 3 weeks ago, I was a real athlete. So when I played football, I was a 3-time All-American. I love my weightlifting, Chris, and the fans out there. I wasn't about to go through another battle of politics trying to prove to people who I was. If you pushed me and you gave me somebody who was athletic, I could work with him. If you just put me in the ring with another big guy, you was just going to get another big guy match. And at that point, I was tired. I was like, I'm good. When God wants you to walk away, when I'm 54 years old, brother, and I'm not, and I feel that I can get out there and train for 3 weeks, and I can do the same match that I did in WCW because I have no injuries. Brother, you can go to my they can go to my Facebook page and be like, oh my God, he looks the same. Because everything I did, it was just me. There was no gimmick on top of what I was just being me. So I believe my career would have probably been no different in WWE because it goes back to, if you're not going to put the money behind me, then you're not going to push the character.
Yeah.
And I wasn't about to bend down and kiss your boom boom cave to make you push me either. I just wasn't. Paz Watley and Thunderbolt Patterson just drove that into me, man, and it stayed with me.
Yeah.
Because when I look at wrestling now, I enjoy more 20 years being out of the business because there's so many people like, what happened? Brother, your guess is good as mine.
Yeah.
Yep. So, no, I don't think anything would have changed. I would have been a mid-carder. I'm just keeping it real. And I would have been in and out of there 2 or 3 times and came back and repackaged. And spiritually, I just wasn't doing that. So when Johnny Ace called me and told me Vince's deal, I said, Johnny, thank you so much. Have a good day. And I thought he really was like, is he killing? Is he really serious?
Is he really serious? You got to say it like the Johnny Ace.
Yeah.
Is he really serious?
Yep, that's how. Yep, it's like, so what do you think about this? I said, nah, that's not me. And I wasn't going to go down there, and I watched how they had treated some guys from New York. But all that changed. When I met Devon the other day, I was like, man, there's some pretty cool bros up there. And I had never met Devon. And I had met Pope, too. And I was like, man, it was like I had been in the room with 2 brothers that I had never met before. And that let me know that, you know what, maybe I should have went to Vince. You know, maybe I should have went to Vince and gave him a shot. But I wasn't interested in it because wrestling to me had changed. It became a bunch of guys eating tuna fish, getting 6-packs. It wasn't what I grew up watching. Don Morocco, Bruno Sammartino. It became a different business.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah. Good point. The leader's asking, how is it working with Sting, and have you two kept in contact, any being both Christians?
You know what? I haven't talked to Steve in a little while, and I think Sting was always a good guy. Our last conversation, this is me and Sting's last conversation. I was wrestling. He looks at me. Am I smooth? He said, if they don't ever push you now, they're never going to push you. Because I'm watching your matches, and they're good. And they're real good. And I said, you think so? He says, yeah. And when Barry Windham pulled up, when I knew guys like Barry Windham, when I walked backstage one day after a match, And Wendell told me, boy, you are getting it now. And those are the things that really stick with me.
Yep.
When Steen tells me, hey, you got it. And Barry Windham tells me, you got it. And when they're begging Vince's son, hey, I got a match for Chris King and the Ice Train. Can we keep it on the program for the last night in Panama? And they scratched it, but our writers wanted me and Kanyon to do the last night together, you know, on our program, and they just scratched it. So those are the things. Sting is an awesome guy, just a good man, straight up, admits his flaws, admits his mistakes, and that's why God loves him. Because anytime you're an open book, you can never judge. You just got to read the book.
Read the book. Let's see here. Evan's asking a good question here. Who is your black Mount Rushmore in football and wrestling? So 4 at the top in football and 4 on top of wrestling.
I'm about to give it to him, brother.
Okay.
Tell Evan, you ready?
Yep.
Bobo Brazil is number 1.
Okay. 3 more.
Ron Simmons is number 2.
Okay.
And Thunderbolt Patterson is number 3.
All right. 1 more for the Mount Rushmore.
And here we go. The last but not least, I'm going to give Booker T, my last person.
That's a solid Booker, 4, man. Yeah.
I believe it's a solid 4, plus I think it's different generations.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I believe I know what Booker T been through. I know his story. I know his blood. I know his sweat and tears. And I know him. I know Ron Simmons. Ron loved the business, never about money. Now, the funniest person you ever going to meet in your life now, there ain't nobody going to tell a story better than Ron Simmons. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you, Ron Simmons, if you ever want to, he can go to Saturday Night Live and man, just make millions of dollars. The man is just a natural-born. Chris, when I tell you the man is just a comedian, the stories are just, and how he does them, I just tell you one day we pulled up to a window and we were ordering some food. He says, please, excuse me, can I have some condiments, please? I would like some ketchup, some mustard, and 2 pickles on my burger. I said, are you really ordering your burger like that? Yes. And the guy was so serious, and the girl at the window was laughing. But that was Ron Simmons. And Booker T was the hardest worker that I ever met. And he didn't let his color stick with him. He broke all racial barriers.
Yeah.
That's how much Booker T loved that business.
Yes.
And that's how much you got to love it like Booker T. Booker loved the business.
Yeah.
That's my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, man.
That's mine.
Yeah, that's a solid 4, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, Booker T's he's in my top 5 of all time, and so yeah, it was such an honor. It was a bucket list item to interview him, and he was a nice guy when I talked to him off air too. So yeah, good stuff.
Man, tell Evan that's mine. If you got a better one, let me know. That's mine.
Hey, that's a pretty high standard with that Mount Rushmore. I'll say that. Lexi's asking if given the opportunity to manage Big E and or the New Day, what type of booking would you push for him or them?
Man, if I was, I think Big E, the smile.
Mm-hmm.
I would turn Big E into a heel.
Really?
Because, yes, I would. Because when we smile and we're that nice guy look, it reminds me of myself, but I was just better when I didn't smile. I just think he would be a great heel because he can wrestle. I think he can carry a match with a baby face. And as strong as he is, and just really push his power, but they're not going to push his power because they're still pushing Brock's power. See, that's where it goes. That's See, that's what you got to understand. I'm not going to push Big E as my strongest guy in this company physically because I got Brock to push. So you got to always keep him with a smile in the face. It's not discrimination. It's just you don't rock the boat. That's what that is. But if they were ever to turn him heel, my God, he'd be dynamic.
See,
because you would get to let him unleash his powers.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was in NXT. He was a babyface, and then he came up to the main roster as like Dolph Ziggler's heavy. So he was a heel for a while. He became a babyface because he was just so like he just oozes charisma. Like Big E is just a charisma magnet, and I think it's amazing because he's just so over. He's just so likable. And I think the gyrating, like if it was up to me, I would keep him babyface, but I would make him a little bit more serious. Like I think if you make him,
now we agree on that.
Yeah,
we totally agree on that.
Yeah,
just a little bit more serious.
Mm-hmm.
I look at him, man. But he's dying. But to me, he's a very good, dynamic young guy, man. I love him, man. I read some comments. Man, on YouTube, man, they're hilarious. That is Ice Train's son. He's in the backstage somewhere with him, man. I mean, the comments I read, I've never met the kid a day in my life. And, I'm talking about 30 or 40 of them. My son would come up to me and say, who's Big E? I said, man, read that. I was like, oh, my God, you guys are hilarious. I can read man, him and Ice Train would have been dynamic together, man. And it's cute, man. But I'll tell you, it's just a brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, Chris. And as I get older now, I appreciate what I did more. Because until I went to those autograph sessions, oh, my God, I had no idea how many people were Ice Train fans. When I looked at my table, I was like, this is my table? He said, yeah, why you think I wanted to make sure you got on that plane last night?
Nice.
I said, oh, wow. Okay. Cool. I had one guy come up to me, man. I promise you, I don't know what they charge them people. It was like $30 to take a selfie. He took 5 selfies. He brought 15 pictures to sign. And I'm talking about groups of that. And all he wanted to know is what happened. And it's kind of funny. I was like, maybe my name is the whatever happened because it's like you just disappeared.
Yeah.
And when you're in tune with your family and your kids and your wife, and your love for God in your community, it could make you make different changes. Like right now, do I appreciate wrestling more than I appreciated it 3 years ago? Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because 3 years ago, I would sit up and like, now, what happened? Why I never go to Vince? Because I knew why they wanted to go to Vince because I wanted to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
I got to the point when I came home one day, Chris, and I didn't know where my dishes were in my house. I knew I was on the road too much.
Wow.
And I knew I had missed a lot of time with my son, Harold.
Mm-hmm.
He was my first one. And when he got in high school, I basically, for those 8 years, high school and college, I was in Indiana every weekend watching football games. We had a home in Ohio, and I had a home in Georgia. And that's where I was for a whole 8 years. Ohio, Georgia, Cincinnati, Indiana.
Really?
Every weekend watching
I'm an Ohioan.
play. Yes.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm an Ohioan. What part?
Oh, man, Cincinnati. I was in Marymount.
Okay.
Right outside. Marymount, Ohio. A little small little village.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. My sons couldn't wait to get out of there because, as a parent, I wanted to move to the suburbs. They was like, man, can I see somebody that looks like me in school? And it was only one. They were only one out of 3,000 kids. They were the only ones. So they begged me to come and live in Georgia.
Oh,
and
nice.
My wife would be up there with the other 2 kids. But that was my life for 14 years. My kids. And I would not turn. The money part, yep, I probably lost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
but the respect I have for myself as a parent, brother, can't be stopped.
Amen.
It's one thing Dallas Page said. DDP said, you might stand a person up for dinner. You might not come visit them when you say, but I know one thing, you love your kids, and that's what makes you H. I said, man, I love my kids.
Yeah.
I do. And tell Big E, man, has a lot. What was the name of the question? Was it Evan?
Let's see. Lexi, she asked the question.
Lexi.
Mm-hmm.
Tell Lexi, Big E is going, in the next 2 years, Vince is going to give him a big push. I believe
so.
that. He's going to get some real strap titles.
Yeah,
just believe it. He is. He's going to be a star.
I hope he wins the Royal Rumble and faces Brock at Mania. Brock is champ now. I think Big E, there were some rumors last year, or there were some rumors this year and last year, especially last year, that Big E was going to get a singles push. Still be with the New Day, but still, get a big push. I was hoping it, and then they chose Kofi for the Money in the Bank, and then they chose Kofi for the Gauntlet this year. I was like, I like Kofi, but I was like, man, I like Big E. I think he's just he just oozes with charisma, man. They need to give him a shot.
How about this, Chris? What do you think about Master P in his new group?
So for those who don't know, big news broke today that Master P bought House of Glory Wrestling, and he said Vince McMahon, is going to what did he say? He said something like Vince McMahon. Basically called him out, talking about wrestling and Vince McMahon, and so he said he's going to get the wrestlers and from WWE and all that, and so I don't know. I mean, House of Glory is
the first thing I thought about, hey, just go build your own talent. That's how you do it. And in 5 years from now, they'll be good.
Yeah, that's true.
If you got the money behind you, you start bringing in other names. You're dealing with different personalities, so you might want to get on the phone with them, Chris, and give them some good wrestling, as he called it, wrestling.
Some wrestling.
Now,
yeah.
hey, yes, you need to. He just needs to build his own brand if that's what he wants to get into.
Yeah,
because he really does.
I agree.
Yeah, that was funny.
I agree. I think in order to succeed in wrestling and compete against Vince McMahon, I think it's good. I like what you said about that. I think it's good to develop new stars, but I think the first thing you do, you gotta get some heavy hitters to bring people to interest. Bring people to your product and develop new stars that way, because they're and I mean the indie world is just covered with names now. So we'll see how that goes.
You know what? It is covered with names. And the thing about it is, Chris, is that you can, if he was smart, I would get in touch with Stevie Ray, Teddy Long, and Ron Simmons, and then get some minds behind them. Yep. And then you start pushing. You get some different minds behind you. This is my thing about wrestling.
Wrestling.
If you have no creative control, and this was Thunderbolt's Patterson issue, Pez Watley's issue, you gotta understand how Ole Anderson, if you go back to my early time in WCW, Ole Anderson never paid $1, but he knew how to push you though. I remember I was in the ring, you can Google it, Steve Austin, Brian Pillman. Ole told me, I'm sending you out here, I don't want you selling anything. You're not supposed to take one bump. This is what you do. You just beat the hell out of them because the crowd likes them, like you. You can go to his Ron Simmons against Ice Train, Steve Austin. I didn't do any selling. But Ole knew that because, brother, my ratings, when Ole had the book, now you didn't make much money with Ole with the book, but you could get ratings because he knew how to push it. Him and, what's the one, Bill Watts.
Bill Watts.
They knew what to do with the African-American person. Sad but true. I'm telling you.
Interesting.
I'm telling you.
I heard about Watts.
They knew how to get. Yeah. Oh man. Only two now. You got to think him and Thunderbolt Patterson couldn't stand each other, but they were best friends. And he only would call Thunderbolt a racist right in front of each other. They would infirm that they'd be all over them two right now. But brother, they oh my God, they couldn't even. Oh my God, only been fired 18 times, and Thunderbolt would have been in Human Resources Department 18 times. But they just had that kind of relationship. They did. Wow. Chris, man, it was the wild, wild west, man. And Eric and Ole couldn't get along, and Eric was like, man, you know what? I'm done with you, Ole.
Oh,
but
wow.
Ole, Ole had the book when Eric first got there. And he only had it for like, oh my God, I think it was about 800 bookers in WCW. Oh my God, you have Dusty with the book, and then in some kind of way that Terry Taylor will always get up in there and get a book too. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And that was the end of it for anybody who was African American. Terry Taylor still thinking about the WCW because he conjured up that 8 chair shots that nobody seen me take against Chris Canyon on TV but one time.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Chris, the Human Resource Department was blowing my phone up the next day.
Blow it up.
Oh, my goodness, man. They wanted to know, was I about to sue the company for $40 million because I took 8 chair shots, and the NAACP was all over them about that.
Oh, wow.
But at that time, you know, oh, yeah, man. And they were furious. And Terry Taylor called my house. Hey, you okay? And, bro, Chris Canyon, you know what? I haven't had any head problems, but, man, at that time, I could have done – I was just a straight-up dude. I never jumped in on those lawsuits. I knew what I was getting into when I walked in there. I knew what I was getting into, and I never did it, man. I just say, hey, I just respect you as a man, and you respect me as a man. We'll be okay. When you're done working with me, I'll be fine. You know, it was never about, can I have a job? Can I please have a job? I wasn't about to kiss butt to get to a title. And that's what I liked about the Steiners, man. They were just real. They from Detroit just like me, but my God, when I look at Rick and Scott, man, I just see my homeboys, and they just wasn't no butt kissers either, man.
Yeah.
You got so much butt kissing going on in wrestling that some people should wear chocolate lipstick on their lips. There's so much butt kissing out there.
Oh man. Before we go, okay, so before we go, is there any backstage stories of you like just being a fly on the wall and just trying to hear someone just kind of try to talk their way up in the books?
Now, you've been watching wrestling long enough. We mentioned somebody earlier in this show. Now, you got to understand. How many guys you've seen 40 become a world heavyweight champion who was just enhancement talent in their 30s?
Okay, I read between that line very quick.
Good Q&A. That's going to be good Q&A for your people to figure out. Brought their name up on this show. And I'm not talking about Booker T.
Yeah, I read between that line very quickly.
Yes. So, hey, brother, that's it right there. And that's a guy couldn't whoop a fly off. I mean, the fly tap him out in real life, but it's not a dig. It's not a shoot. It's just what it is. You know, but God bless him, he got there. And he's doing a lot of magnificent stuff there. But that's how I believe somebody talked their way up to. I mean, but he was a hard worker. Do not get me. He was at the power plant every day, training, working hard, and Eric helped him, give him that break, and the people loved him. But I mean, that's something that's the only person I knew. Now I'm gonna be honest. He did work super hard, but I knew it was a lot of guys work super hard. They never got that break, brother.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
But that would be my one story of the fly on the wall who worked their way up. That would be it. Now, if you get Rick and Scott Steiner on the phone, they will spin that whole thing and just rip it. You say you got no cussing on the phone, it'll be some cussing on that phone.
That's probably why I don't have
man,
him on the show yet.
Man, I tell you, it has been my pleasure, man. I'm sorry about the bad connections we had earlier. Tell the people out there, man, thank you guys for tuning in and listening. If you listen for 1 minute or the whole time, man, I really had a ball.
Yeah.
It was nice to talk. This is my first podcast. I'm gonna be honest with my fellow African American brother. So
nice.
That was awesome for me too.
Wow.
You know, and I'm proud of what you're doing, man. You keep up the awesome work you're doing.
Thank you.
Because to have a love for the business like you do, man, that is outstanding. Because it's a great business, man. Pro wrestling is one of the longest running opera stories ever. It never ends.
That's a good point.
And it's a beautiful thing, man. I don't regret one day doing it.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it. I love Europe. That was my real home. I got to work over there for 7 years for Otto Vance. Going to Japan, but the time I had in Germany, as I leave you with this, Otto Vance, if there's a heaven, Otto's in there. And the people I want to say thank you is Jody Hamilton, Paul Orndorff, Eric Bischoff, Otto Vance, Thunderbolt Patterson. Those were people who helped me, and Blackjack Mulligan helped me in this business. And, man, they were awesome people because they had no race. Chris, they had no skin. They were just good people.
Yeah.
And, brother, it's a rarity. It's very rare just to have really good people, man. God rest Otto's heart and Otto Vance and Blackjack Mulligan, but, man, you're talking about some good people, bro. Jody Hamilton at the power plant. Jody was a Southern boy, but, man, Jody had not a racist bone in his body. It's a lot of good people that touched my life, and they really did, man. And Eric Bischoff was number one, but those other guys had a great role too, man. And Chris, I appreciate you chopping it up with me tonight, man. I hope I gave you some good content and some good stories.
Yes.
But, man, brother, I tell you, man, it was a beautiful 9-year run, and it was great. And just to be on the circuit now, talking to you and doing podcasts, man, it lets me know that, man, I really enjoyed it, and I will never take away what I had for more money or bigger push, because I'm doing all right. And I love when I get up and go to the gym and I see a young kid in there and say, hey, you need to go see Vince McMahon. Hey, you need to go see Chris Jericho.
Nice.
And that's it, man. Thank you, Chris. I know that's the bell, baby.
Yes. Awesome, man. What are you doing nowadays?
Man, I'm actually, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I called Teddy Long today. I said, Teddy, you know what I think I'm going to do? He says, what? I said, man, after going to this autograph session, all these podcasts, I think I'm going to become Am I Smooth the manager. And I guess you got the power.
I like it.
When you don't need the money. And it's Teddy was like, now, you know what? You as a manager, the way you love to talk and the way you love to dress, it's going to be good. I said, Teddy, I just think that's my way into Vince. Because, you can go to my Facebook, Chris, and pull up Harold Hope, and you can look at me. You be like, no, that is not Ice Train. There's nowhere in the world that sucker look like that 20 years later. And I probably look better than I look when I wrestle. And that's what's so hilarious.
Wow.
And I told Teddy, I said, man, I get to be myself. And the thing about it, I don't want to wrestle now. That's the whole thing. I don't want to wrestle. I just want to be a manager and take some young kids under my wing like Teddy did me and Thunderbolt did me and just work them, man. That's what I would do. And, I'm thinking about doing it because it's like my sons are older and I got a little time to travel right now, and I get so many invitations to wrestle. I'm like, God wanted me to come to Germany, Japan. I was like, no, bro. You're going to have to, that's going to train. That's a lot of money. I said, man, but you know what? I'm good on that. I want to do something different.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get in touch with Big E, and the next year you see me and Big E walk out together.
All right.
Ice train with Big E.
All right.
But don't be surprised if you don't see me at WWE in the next 6 to 9 months.
All right.
I can tell you that one. So you'll be the second one. Because I did tell the guys that 2 men, what is it called? 2
Car
men
trip.
Yep. I told them, they was like, Train, are you really going back to wrestling? I said, I'm thinking about being a manager. And I'm thinking about being a manager because I think I'll do really good at it. And I kind of look good to be 53, 54 years old.
Nice.
So I think I do good at it, man. I have fun up there. And I can really help a guy win a match, lose a match, turn on the guy. But I love wrestling. And that might be my next hobby in the next 2 years to be a manager. So,
Nice.
I'll be chewing out there with somebody soon. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I like it. Sounds good, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah, you as well. You as well. It's been a pleasure, man. I've had a really, really good a time chatting with you, and hopefully we can have you back on the show.
Hey, you know what? Now, I told you first, and whoever's listening, 6 to 9 months, WWE. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
It's 6 to 9 months. Only as a manager. No
As a
rapper,
manager.
but as a manager.
All right.
It's going to be fun. You said, and I'm telling you, you're the second person I told, and that's it. You'll see 6 to 9 months.
Well,
Because
hopefully,
okay.
Hopefully you can be on the show
fun.
before 6 to 9 months, because I've talked to WWE many, many times and many, many WWE wrestlers, and it's such a strict guideline to get people active that's on the show. So hopefully you can be on the show
before I do that debut, before I know I'm going, I'm going to call you up and say, hey, we got 2 weeks to do this podcast.
All right.
Let's get it done.
All right.
All right, man. God bless you,
Sounds
man. God
good.
bless all your fans and all your team out there who listening to you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You as well. Bye-bye. Ice Train, ladies and gentlemen. Ice Train. He he laid it down. He said he's going to be in the WWE within 6 to 9 months. You heard it here on the Pancakes and Powerslams show. And we're live, pal. So there's no taking it back. So there's no taking it back. So wow, that was super cool, man. I really enjoyed time with Train. All right, so let's do this. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into these headlines. You ready for the headlines? We ain't got much time left. That took a while, which was good. That was a really, really good long interview that I enjoyed thoroughly. So it's time for it, guys. Let's do this. Headlines. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt. So obviously apparently that was a Vince McMahon call to have Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt like that. That was just crazy. So yeah, it was Vince McMahon's call to do that. I actually wrote an article about it. Because also Kevin Eck, he actually writes for ROH now. He used to be a writer for WWE. He actually did something about it too. I'm looking at an article I wrote about it. And So let me see. So basically, according to Fightful Select, that's who broke it. And so basically, Vince McMahon was the person behind the finish. Meltzer added that Vince wants to keep the top faces of the company intact, and those people are Rollins, Lesnar, Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. So he want to protect those 4 names because he feel like those are the top names of the company, especially with the Fox launch and things like that. So of course we saw with Hell in a Cell. There was AEW chants, restart match chants, and refund chants. And basically, the source told Fightful initially, Vince McMahon laughed it off. But then there was other people that he initially laughed it off, but then he knew he messed up. Eventually, he was like, okay, he knew he messed up. So Kevin X says, "Trust me on this because I know firsthand from working for WWE. Vince McMahon and Paul Levesque truly believe you'll complain, but you won't stop watching. They were both smug and condescending about it. They think the fans are rubes. Don't be one." So he was there backstage, so he knows what it's all about. He knows, he can verify Vince and Triple H's reaction toward negative publicity. So basically, and then he added on that he doesn't think the AEW he doesn't think the AEW and all the other chants mean anything, but what will really mean something is if fans cancel their WWE Network subscription or just stop watching WWE altogether. So it's a really interesting conundrum here that Vince McMahon at this point, he can't, Vince McMahon and Triple H, they had the pro wrestling business on lock. Yes, there's ROH, which I love. Got some good peoples over in ROH. Know some good people over at ROH. Impact Wrestling, they just signed with Access. Big deal. Great talent over there. But they are not and will never be WWE. So it's like, no matter what, you can never get to the WWE stage. So for a while, WWE knew that they had on lock because there was no competition. There was no legitimate number 2. Now with AEW, it's like, okay, well, there's legitimate number 2 competition. AEW's on TNT, so it feels like Raw and Nitro again as far as the USA versus TNT. And so that's the thing, man. You can't afford to do stuff like that anymore. You just can't. You just can't get to the point of, okay, I'll just laugh it off when people are given this type of reaction. And of course, Vince McMahon did not want to elicit an AEW chant at a WWE show. Now, let's be real here. As much as he doesn't care about, cancel WWE Network and people don't, or, this is awful, or, any other thing, boring chants or whatever, as many things that he just don't care about, if you're chanting AEW, if your finish is so bad that you're eliciting an AEW chant at a WWE pay-per-view, that is a whole different level of bad right there. So we'll see. We'll see if he really pays attention to this, because this is really important stuff. So, as far as we'll do the headlines first, and then we'll do Raw and SmackDown. And then Hell in a Cell, just real quick thoughts on Hell in a Cell. I think it was one of the worst pay-per-views that I've seen in the past 5 years. Michael says Bray doesn't need a belt and should have never been put in the match that hurt Rollins and Bray. I agree. You know how I feel about someone not needing a belt. the goal for everyone is to win the title, but I get it. I definitely get it as far as what you mean by that. It's just not. It was way premature. That was way premature. So F- Michael gives it. Yeah, it was a bad pay-per-view. Now Becky and Sasha, amazing match, absolutely amazing match. Very, very good. Everything else, it just went down the tank after that. Reigns and Bryan against Rowan Harper was good. I mean, it was a good match. It was a good match. The Hug It Out segment was pretty funny. There's just still something fishy about that. Just something fishy. Like there's part of me that still feels a turn coming from Daniel Bryan. It's just still there to me. Orton and Ali was just a pointless match to me. It was a segment that came from backstage. I know they had history as far as Orton injuring Ali, but that didn't do anything to me. It's just a disconnect for me with Ali. Looks like they're pushing the Kabuki Warriors as heels now, which I'm not a fan of. I like the Mist edition, but I like the fact that they won the titles. Definitely much needed, well deserved, long overdue. But here's the deal: Asuka should be the top babyface of all of the company. Asuka and Ember Moon. So we've seen Sasha to death. We've definitely seen Charlotte to death, definitely. And then as far as Bayley, I like Bayley, but WWE's failing to really have her connect with the main roster audience, and so Ember Moon, Asuka, Kairi Sane is awesome, but I still think she came up a little bit too premature. But Asuka and Ember Moon should be the two top baby faces. As far as the top heels, I will still put Alexa Bliss over there as a top heel. She may stay in the tag team title scene because of her concussion scares. That could be the case. But yeah, we'll see. But if it's no issue with concussions anymore, I think Alexa Bliss should be still top heel, and Charlotte Flair. Making her babyface is just a bad call. She needs to be building somebody up. Baron and Corbin and Chad Gable was the same way. Just filler match. No purpose of being on the pre-show. Lacey Evans and Natalya was on the pre-show. Viking Raiders and Braun Strowman against the OC. Braun's a mystery partner. That made sense. He fits in with them, but another filler match. This was a glorified Raw. Just matches we don't even know about. Orton and Ali came from nowhere. Viking Raiders and Braun Strowman against the OC in a 6-man match on a paper. Like, you're just throwing matches together. Corbin and Gable, you really made that a pay-per-view match. Absolutely terrible, man. And it just seems like they didn't have enough time to book for this show. It was bad, very bad. And then Rollins and Wyatt was just one of the worst finishes I've ever seen in my life. And basically, that from what I heard, that actually became a referee stoppage. So Bray actually lost the match. Now I think it's too early to put the title on Bray. Give him some time, make him develop, but keep him far away from Seth. You should have done this in the first place. I would have been totally fine with like a Bray Wyatt versus Ricochet feud. Ricochet's name is credible enough to have a feud with. You feud against someone like that, man. Someone with a credible babyface name, Cedric Alexander, Ricochet, someone like that with a credible enough name. But keep them far away from the title picture, especially if you're not going to put the title on them. And I think it's too early to put the title on them. So, yeah. And also, I'll bring Evan Tech Proud, co-host with the most on, for the next headline. Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Survey time.
Yeah. Good to be back.
Absolutely.
Glad Lord bless me see another year.
On the mothership.
And the mothership, if you will, hell in a cell.
Yeah.
Gotta do crappy booking to get people to keep talking about you. I do want to say this. Myself and Angry Mark was in your local state, good old Ohio, or you say Ohio.
Ohio.
As some people would say. And would you know, in Ohio, we got nothing but cold water in our hotel. So we had no hot water in our hotel. We had to take cold showers before we left. So I just want to thank you, Featherstone, because we blame you.
Hey, I was out of town. I was on vacation, man. I was on vacation that weekend, so I wasn't in Columbus, so it wasn't my fault. Train says, he says thank you and God bless. Yeah. But yeah, you have to actually blame the Bengals and the Browns for that cold water because
blame the Bengals.
Yeah, they have been absolutely terrible, especially the Bengals. Absolutely terrible. So.
Yeah, they'll be 0-6 after my Ravens defeat them on Sunday. They'll be 0-6.
Yeah.
Oh man,
just the worst, man. Absolute worst.
We survived the cold water in Ohio, and the Ravens survived against the Steelers. We knocked out the quarterback cold. Glad he's okay. Hell in a Cell, horrible. It's amazing to me. It's nothing but filler.
Yeah.
You have a pay-per-view. You only announced 4 matches. You couldn't have been that busy with the SmackDown premiere and the Raw premiere and Lashley making out with Lana and Asuka messing up Miss, not know how to spit it. You can't be that busy. You do a bunch of these filler matches. And the thing is that pay-per-view wasn't bad. Sasha and Becky was the best match. Orton and Ali was just random. Like basically a 205 Live main event. SmackDown Jack. Action Zone metal match, which was cool.
Jacked metal.
Brian and Reigns was cool. Jacked and metal. Reigns and Brian was cool. The Bludgeon Brothers, whatever you want to call them. The match was horrible. Bray shouldn't have been in the match to begin with. He doesn't need a title. You should have kept him away from Seth.
Yep.
Seth should have fought someone else. And for Hell in a Cell, you mean to tell me, let's see, Hell in a Cell history. Boss Man got hung. That was legal in Hell in a Cell.
Right.
Foley got that drop through the cell, through the ring. Also, there was a flaming TY4 with barbed wire. Triple H used sledgehammers multiple times with Batista and Shawn Michaels. And yet, Seth could use a chair shot directly on Bray's head. And he could use a ladder and use a toolbox. But once he brought out the sledgehammer, it was too much.
Yeah.
It made no sense. Horrible.
Yeah.
And my network was jacked up. So, I had reached out to you. I reached out to some other colleagues. I didn't know what was going on. My phone was blowing up. I thought somebody died, and everybody was mad about to end it.
Yeah.
But, horrible.
Yeah,
and the VIP lights and the club VIP nightclub lights going on in the ring.
Yeah.
That had to be. I was staring at my eyes after a while when I replayed the red light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. All right. Let's see. All right. Next headline we have is the Book of Man. The Book of Man. I'll do it for you. You already know I'll do it for you. I'm gonna play. I think it's like a weekly segment of playing Booker T videos now. I'm gonna play this one here. He's talking about how Kofi Kingston should have been booked on the. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, how Kofi Kingston should have been booked to lose the title. So I'm about to play that now.
Tomorrow.
All right, so just a moment. Let me play it. Let me bring it up real quick. always. All right. Pull it up real quick. We'll play the Book of Man. I'll do it for you. All right, just a moment. Pull that up real quick. All right, so real quick, share. Look, listen. I appreciate the patrons. I appreciate those who are dedicated to Patreon. And matter of fact, Lexi, email me your T-shirt size because after 3 months you get a free T-shirt. So Mo got his already. Hope you're sporting your Pancakes and Powerslams T-shirt, Mo. Oh
yeah.
And Lexi, email me your T-shirt size, so I'll be in your address and all that good stuff, and I'll be giving you one as well. You wear it at the gym when you work out. All right, let the gym know about the Pancakes and Powerslams. I dig it. Hey, you should have wore it at AEW when you went last week. That would have been a perfect time to wear your Pancakes and Powerslams at the AEW premiere. Oh, come on, Mo. That would be the perfect time to do it. All right, so let's play this. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying that, hey, look, give to Patreon. Every time you give to Patreon, and you know, just really appreciate everybody supporting the Pancakes and Powerslam show, and it's an extra level of support if you just give a to-go McDonald's combo every single month. That's all. Just a combo from McDonald's. That's all you got to do. Yeah, Lexi, you too. You could have you wore it to SmackDown on Friday, but it's cool though. We'll make it happen. You had to wear your Cody All Elite shirt. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I can dig that. I can do that. Yeah, chicken sandwich combo. Exactly. Like, ditch your Popeyes chicken sandwich combo because they're not. You have to bring your own bun now, so you can ditch that for a month.
Hey, look. Shout out to Wendy's, man.
To be able to do it. So.
Don't forget about the Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
Yeah, they which one? So Wendy's spicy chicken's good, but Popeyes. I mean, Popeyes was amazing, though. I mean, you can't. Who was it that tried to do some competition and actually brought the donut, the terrible diabetes sandwich?
I can't remember.
The donut on the top, and the bottom is a bun. Oh, just terrible.
They do that. The donut, the sandwich where it's the burger and the
no, it's like a chicken. It's a donut chicken sandwich, dude. I forgot where it is, but it's just
what?
Yes, a donut chicken sandwich. Yes. KFC, Sports Huddle said KFC. Okay, KFC is trying to do a competition with the donut chicken sandwich. That's terrible. All right, so for a time crunch. All right, so my purpose of saying that is I'm always with the more I'm listener supported, the more I get to have some really, really cool enhancements on the show. And here's one of the enhancements. Nice little extra presentation to the show, just like that. And now we're going to play Booker T's video. This week, here's a segment, ladies and gentlemen, called This Week with Booker T.
You were there Friday Night SmackDown, debut on Fox. I mean, what did you think of the WWE Championship match? That's all. I've been looking at tweets, YouTube comments. Everybody wants to know, what does Booker think? Kofi Kingston, Brock Lesnar, ended 10 seconds. What's your take?
You know what, man? You got to look at this two different ways, okay?
All right.
You got to look at it from a perspective to where, man, Kofi Kingston, he had a meteoric rise to the top of the WWE, almost like, the Rocky story, slipping on a banana peel and getting a phone call and just happened to be prepared ready when the time came, stepping in for Ali in that what was it, 5-man gauntlet match, you know what I mean, and then going out there and having the match of a lifetime. Kofi Mania was therefore born, and it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing to see Kofi after 11 years on the grind getting that push, and then going out there and beating Daniel Bryan. You know, it was a believable story. It was a believable story. Both guys, you know, weighing in about the same, 212, 213 pounds. Both guys, you know, about, you know, 5'10" tall to 5'11". I'm giving them a little bit of credit.
Look at Booker T's nails.
6'3", 250 pounds. I won't be stomping.
I think he get like manicured or something.
No, but it was a beautiful story. It was a beautiful story. But great moment. But now with Brock Lesnar, you know, come on.
And real quick, for those who are listening on audio, we're looking at the Booker T on Kofi Kingston losing the WWE Championship of SmackDown Reality of Wrestling video. So tune in with us.
Come on. Bonafide. Come on.
6'5", 286.
I mean, come on, he's a monster.
He still wears
you say,
Booker ring.
what would it have looked like, Kofi Kingston going out there and these guys having a 30-minute knockdown drag out? I don't know if that would have worked for me. The build-up and the size matchup, it played out, almost exactly the way it was drawn up. And I can't say Kofi Kingston, he has a reason to hold his head down or anything. Just the luck of the draw. You know what I mean? That's just the cards that was played to you on that night. So no diss against Kofi Kingston, but a 6-month run. He beat some good guys. Is something that's going to go on his resume and is going to stick for the rest of his life. I don't think we any of us thought that Kofi Kingston was going to have a 365-day 2-year run or anything like. I don't know. Now the title, that's just the way it switches. And like I said, with Brock Lesnar coming over, Fox getting the title shot, Kofi should have said, "Look, I'm not accepting this." Why did he accept? You tell me that.
You tell me that.
Maybe you should be amazed.
Exactly. Maybe somebody need to be talking for Kofi Kingston. He shouldn't be, running out in the middle of the ring and talking about, I accept the match with Brock Lesnar. He might want to call Dunn King. You know what I mean? He might want to call Bob Arum. You know what I mean? He might want to call, somebody like that. Eddie Hearn over there in England. You know what I mean? That start working with negotiating his fights because it was a bad call. It was a bad call. He shouldn't have taken it. And I know I'm just talking, talking smack here, but but like I said, really, that's just the luck of the draw. But Kofi had a good run. And it's just time to move on. Back to I don't even know if he goes back to the New Day. What did go from there?
I don't know.
Where do the New Day go from this point right here? I mean, as far as do Kofi go back with him, they go back to baby throwing out the pancakes. It wouldn't be the same after the heavyweight championship run. I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something that Kofi's gonna have to ponder about. It's definitely going to be different over these next few months, even trying to get back into that groove with the New Day. So I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. But should the title have changed? Yes. The question is, should the title have changed that way?
That's what a lot of people were talking about. I mean, 10 seconds for a WWE championship.
Well, maybe.
But at the same time, I was talking to some people on Twitter, and this was kind of my philosophy of it. Look, Fox used to have UFC. You want to have a UFC-style presentation. Well, hey, we just saw Jorge Masvidal knock Ben Askren out in 5 seconds, so we know it's conceivable to win a match in that amount of time.
Yeah.
You look at the size difference. Logic.
But this is the way people I think are looking at it. Kofi should have kicked out just once.
Well, personally, I would like to have seen more of a match.
Remember
the match that Brock had with Daniel Bryan? I wanted to see something like that.
No. I wouldn't have wanted. I mean, we didn't even have to take it that far. I mean, we could have just taken it to the point to where Kofi kicks out. Bang, you know what I mean? After one F5, and maybe, I don't know, Brock get, so frustrated, pick him up again, give him another one, boom, you know what I mean? Boom. But this time, he wait about 5 seconds before he get the cover. Goes back and cover Kofi Kingston. Kofi kicks out again. You know what I mean? He picks Kofi up. Kofi rolls him up in a little small package, kick out, beating. That's one more, bang! 1, 2, 3. How you like that? Huh? How you like that? That's my call right there. That ain't nobody else's call. That's my call. And I think the moment, that's the thing right there. Once you lose a moment, you never get it back. Hey, you in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Man, he makes a good point, man. I think that would have been good, and that's what I was thinking, man. I was when I was having a conversation about this, I said that it should have been the Trouble in Paradise. He should have got him in the Trouble in Paradise, and what I would have done is I would have, as soon as the bell would have rang, I would have had Kofi Kingston, pow, Trouble in Paradise, and then Brock kicks out at 2.5. Brock F5s him. 1-2, Kofi kicks out. And then Kofi gets him in another Trouble in Paradise. 1-2 and like 3/4. Brock kicks out. And then Brock F5s Kofi. And that does it. That would have protected Kofi if he would have done that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it should have happened.
Yeah, I got nothing but quiet. Unfortunately, I couldn't even hear what Booker T had said. On my end, it was real quiet. So
yeah, the audio's not gonna pick it up. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, Angry Mark called it to the T. I was surprised Kofi ain't get one lick. I thought let him do the Trouble in Paradise off the butt. Pink Brock kicks out at 2, tries it again at 5 the end. But that's how it is. I guess they a lot of people were upset behind that. They were fuming mad.
Yep.
Like hell in a cell. So I think WWE, but we all knew this was going to come. We knew Brock was going to win. We knew it. Unhappy fans Friday night, and irate fans on Sunday.
Yep.
So,
indeed.
We'll see what he does next.
Indeed. Yep, we'll see. I agree. We'll see what happens next, and that's just the way it is. All right, so the next thing is old Goldie and Matt Riddle. So on the Chronicle. On Goldberg's Chronicle, I haven't seen all of it yet. I saw just a little bit of it after Hell in a Cell, and then I really want to watch. I really want to watch all of it. So part of the Chronicle is he has a little something with Matt Riddle. Many of us know Matt Riddle has been talking smack, hardcore smack, at Goldberg, like shooting against Goldberg. And so Chronicle picked up a backstage encounter between the two, and I thought that this was really, really interesting. So I'm going to play this too. As soon as I pick it up. Let me pause it real quick. All right, so I'm going to play this too, and I thought that this was really, really, really cool. I thought this was really, really interesting. Really interesting. You could tell that Goldberg was saving was keeping a lot of composure as he encountered Matt Riddle. I thought this was really, really interesting. You could tell that Goldberg was quite upset. It's first trivia question of the night. Who did Edge defeat to win his first Intercontinental Championship? Who did Edge defeat to win his first Intercontinental Championship? All right, so let me play this video between Riddle and Goldberg.
Oh, no.
I didn't mean to run into you like that.
No problem, bro. How are you?
We got to talk.
Yeah, anytime, dude.
Anytime.
Anytime.
After this happens, anytime.
All right. I'm in the building. I'll
Cool.
talk to you later.
Cool.
I'll be watching the match.
You got it.
I'll see you in a little, bro.
That you will, bro.
Okay.
Good thing you're wearing your shoes.
I don't need shoes, bro.
You're right, bro. First of all, I'm not your bro. Could have been a long time ago. You put a stop to that.
Okay. Hey, that's an opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine.
You got it.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Good.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine, bro.
You got it. I ain't your bro.
I hear you. I hear you. Oh, no.
Yikes. 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 The tension is thick. Wowzers. That was something right there. Yeah. So you could tell that if it wasn't for those cameras, Goldberg would have been Jeff Jarrett, Internet Work. Good job, Jeff Jarrett. Man, you could tell if those cameras was not around, it would have been much easier much more tempting for Goldberg to throw some bows. So Goldberg just Michael says Goldberg just got called out also by Bret Hart yesterday. Well, what's Bret Hart going to do? Honestly, let's be honest with that. But yeah, I think that exchange was really, really interesting. For those who are listening on the audio, check out the Goldberg's Chronicle on the network. They show a segment with him and Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's been very vocal, just trashing Goldberg on Twitter. I even made a video about him. And so basically he bumps into Matt Riddle on accident, but on purpose, obviously. But yeah, it was really, really interesting how that exchange went, and it definitely seemed like there was some things that Goldberg wanted to discuss off camera. So we'll see where that goes. Lexi, ask that and ask Chris question, and we'll see if we make some time for it. What year did Steve Austin win the Intercontinental title? What year did Steve Austin win the Intercontinental title? All right. So we'll be able to jump into the flavor of the week. Let me pull up this information about what Lexi's talking about. If she asked a question, if she asked a question, we'll talk about it. Right. So no one's got that answer right yet. What year did Steve Austin win his first? Oh, Internetwork is on it. Internetwork is on it. 1997. All right, I see Internetwork and Mo. Mo says, "Dang it," because Internetwork beat him to it. All right, so any more Ask Chris questions before we jump into the flavor of the week? Let me know.
I saw it because I did some of the shows mixed up. I thought they already did a Goldberg special, and I don't know why I thought it was called Chronicle. So the Chronicle one must be new. Because didn't they do a Goldberg one before?
Yeah,
so I'm thinking like the Mania.
I think it was the one. I think it was one about Mania, but I don't think it was like specifically Goldberg.
Oh, okay.
This one's Chronicle. It chronicles June, like right after Crown Jewel to SummerSlam, I believe. So,
okay.
So Lexi's asking, are we going to discuss Jeff Hardy's alleged domestic incident that was reported by TMZ? Jeff Hardy's. I think it's Jeff Hardy's. So I knew about the DWI. So he had bloody nose from Fight With Me. TMZ's reporting. Let me bring this up really quickly. Let's see. All right. So here's the TMZ article here. Let me enlarge this. All right. So at Bloody Nose Door, DWI arrest from fight with wife. So troubling twist. Cops say that he had a bloody nose during a stop and told officers from an earlier fight with his wife. Received a tip about a careless and reckless driver around 8:40 p.m. on October 3rd. So when they found the car, they noticed he was parked in front of a liquor store. And when he came out, he was carrying a case of beer. They pulled him over when they observed weaving badly in his lane. And so during the stop, the officer noticed Hardy had what seemed to be dried blood on his nose, and asked what had happened. Hardy advised him and his wife had gotten into a fight. And so they didn't get any more details. So cops said Hardy admitted to taking 2 shots of vodka early in the night, and he ultimately admitted to being impaired. So, it's, it is, they're not investigating for domestic violence, but if Hardy filed a complaint, they would look into it. Really sad stuff, man. I mean, just like, come on now. Listen, you wonder why I'm unashamed about talking about my faith. That's why. Because you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again, man. Like, I know that, everybody, I know that it can get really, really tough. I get it. I understand it. I totally understand. But here's the thing. You need to get some good counseling. You need a mentor. You need a life coach that'll help you from a spiritual standpoint, because you just can't keep doing it. You just can't keep relying on yourself to make yourself better, man. You can't. And obviously there's an issue. Obviously there's an addiction problem. And he just needs to be, I understand, he wants to be back in wrestling. He got injured. I know that. Probably wrestling actually helped, because he probably has a lot of idle time now, which is making, temptations arise. I get all of that, man. But he needs to be around some accountability. I wish that I had an opportunity to talk to Jeff Hardy myself. I wish I did. I really do, man. I really do. Because I would really challenge him to go to church, first of all. And, just really give his life to the Lord. And, man, I just, it really saddens me to see that stuff. All right, so let's jump into the rest of these questions here. Favorite moment over the last week was vacationing with my wife. Actually, we went to it was our anniversary last Wednesday. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we were we took a tour of the islands. We didn't fall victim to Jeff Cobb's finish tour of the islands, but went up to Port Clinton, had a lake condo there, nice view on the horizon, just endless water. Just the lake was just absolutely beautiful. So we went to Port Clinton, drove over to Catawba Island, took a ferry over to Put-in Bay, and it was just peace. It was just tranquility. Good food too. Like there was a Mexican joint there that was just, oh man, it was amazing. It was incredible. All right, so let me see here. What I think about AEW? What I think about AEW Dynamite? It was okay. It was okay. It was fresh. I love the setup.
I enjoyed it.
But I would say in the Monday Night Wars, NXT won, AEW 0. I think NXT was fantastic. I think it was phenomenal. I loved it. Absolutely loved NXT. So it was okay, but still, there was nothing about AEW to me. I liked the ending. I liked Hager coming out. It was cool. Good heat. I get it. But there was nothing about AEW to me that was just like, whoa, like, oh, that person is being super built up. There wasn't anybody new that was really being developed on their first show, So it didn't give me a wow factor. I enjoyed the show. It was, like I said, a nice fresh feel. I like the TNT feel. It was weird having two of the best play-by-plays being next to each other, JR and Tony Schiavone, and then Excalibur jumping from play-by-play to color. And so it was like they need to find out the fusion between those three. You can't have three people doing color, doing play-by-play. That's people stepping on each other's toes, and which they did. So, yeah, I preferred NXT. I think NXT won AEW 0 last week. And we'll see. We'll see what happens this week. But just the star power to me just wasn't there as much with AEW. And just bell-to-bell action from NXT was just – it was incredible. I enjoyed it. All right, let me zoom through these real quick before we get into the flavor of the week. Samoan Dynasty with Rikishi. I like it. I like that. I think it would be a good spot with Rikishi. Jacob Fatu, man, he's killing it. He's amazing, man. And I think that he's just a powerhouse. He's a star, man. He's a star. I know he's killing an AEW with the Contra, but yeah, I think, man, it's clear that WWE would want to acquire him because he's. I watched him live actually. You and I both when we went to MLW show at WrestleMania weekend, and man, this dude is just a monster. I mean, he looks like he looks amazing, and he's killing it, man. So tons of potential with Jacob Fatu. All right, let's see what else real quick. Here's the promo that Rikishi did talking about WWE, how it's filming. I've not seen that promo yet. Send me a link on Twitter about it. It's probably, I don't know if it's a shoot because he wouldn't be holding. He wouldn't be holding him. He wouldn't be talking about himself because he was Intercontinental Champion and he's in the WWE Hall of Fame, so he wouldn't be talking about himself. So I'm interested to hear that. All right, so we got a few minutes left. Let's jump into the flavor of the week. Let's do this.
It is now time for the flavor of the week.
All right, last trivia question of the night. Who did Stephanie McMahon defeat to win the women's title? Who did Stephanie McMahon defeat to win the women's title? All right, so we're going to do our second week of pro wrestling percentages. So as we did last week, we had lots of fun with this, and we're going to continue it this week. We're going to talk about pro wrestling percentages. Pro wrestling percentages. So I'm going to give you the statement, and then you're going to give me the percentage of it happening. All right, let's start with this one. Let's start with this one here. All right, Mo. Mo knows his trivia. Jacqueline. All right, so here's the first percentage. Bray Wyatt will win the 2020 Royal Rumble. Bray Wyatt will win the 2020 Royal Rumble.
60%.
60, you said,
Yep.
Evan? 60%, okay.
Yep.
Michael says 1%. Mo says 100%. Oh, wow. So we know who Mo's choice is for the Royal Rumble winner. Who y'all got? Sports says 30%. All right. 30%. All right. There's a part of me that thinks that they're going to give him the strap at Survivor Series. If he don't win the Survivor Series, I don't think he's going to win the Royal Rumble to Main Event Mania. I think he's going to be like an attraction, like an Undertaker style attraction at Mania, but not main eventing for the title. So I would say about 7% chance that Bray Wyatt will win the Royal Rumble. All right, next percentage. Wow, you think Baron Corbin's going to win the Royal Rumble, Mo? For SmackDown, Huddle says Royal Rumble's going to be for SmackDown. I can see that. Next percentage. Braun Strowman will win his first WWE or Universal title before SummerSlam 2020. Braun Strowman will win his first WWE or Universal title before SummerSlam 2020. So before August of 2020, 10%. Which is 10 months from now. Evan says 10%. Tammy says 0%. Wow. Mo says 1%. Man, no faith in Braun Strowman. Okay, there we go. Huddle. 80%. 33% Michael says. So 1/3 of a chance that he'll win. Tammy says all he does is few celebs now. I'll say I think he'll probably win it at SummerSlam. So before SummerSlam is the question. So I think he'll win it at SummerSlam. So I think the percentage is very low. I think it'll be I'll say so we got 10 months. I'll say a 12% chance. I'll say a 12% chance that he'll win. All right. Next one. Ronda Rousey will compete at WrestleMania 36. Ronda Rousey will compete at WrestleMania 36. And
80%.
Patreon members, all the top tier Patreon members, send me a message because it's going to be Patreon selected percentages for next week. So send me a message of what statements you guys are making. So that'll be a reward for the Patreon peeps. All right. 65% for Tammy, 75% for Mo, 10% for Huddle, 100% for Michael. So she was trying to get pregnant. There hasn't been any news of her getting pregnant other than, the only news for Ronda has been, unfortunately her finger being decapitated. Or severed, I should say. Decapitated is more head-wise. Severed. But, I think her coming to Total Divas there's going to be a way to integrate her in. So I will say a 85% chance that Ronda Rousey will be competing at WrestleMania 36. So, yeah, that would be my percentage. All right, let's do a couple more real quick. Next is this one right here. The Rock versus Randy Orton will occur at WrestleMania 36. So there's been some teasing. Rock said no, and Orton, Orton came back, said, is that a no? And so there's been some teasing. So I would like to see it, actually. Yeah. I'm cool with it. I think it'd be a good spot for Randy Orton. He's at the point now where he's just, there's not many other spots to give him. You know what I mean? So I think that him versus The Rock would be a really good marquee spot at WrestleMania. 25% Mo, negative 500% Michael, 4% Tammy, 0.1% Sports Huddle. That should be his retirement match, Mo says. I think he should put somebody over, a good baby face over in his retirement match. I would say it really depends on The Rock's schedule. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to take what GSP says. 50%, everything's 50-50 with The Rock. I agree with that. If he's available, I think it's 100%. If he's not available, it's 0%. So if he wants a good Mania payday, there you go. All right, real quick, last one. Kofi Kingston will be world champ again. All right. So,
5%.
How much?
5%.
85%.
Yep.
Mo says. Yeah. I'll say 10% chance. 90% Huddle says. And another Fed 50%. Yeah, I can see that. I'll say 10%. So, yep, that's my my goal there. That's what I'm gonna do. It's 50% chance. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Tammy agrees with 10%. It's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Featherstone on behalf of Evan Tech Pro Untitled Matt Radio. 393 in the books. Thank you so much, Ice Train. Good night, everybody. Have a good week. God bless. And always remember, I do it for you. Be sure to hit that like button, guys. Leave a comment. I really, really appreciate it. It was, GHP says 0%. That was it. So, yeah, I don't know. That could be the case. But I'll give it a 10%. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, hit that thumb button. Share the video. Let's continue to build the PNP Nation. God bless you all. Until next week, I do it for you. Have a good week.
60 seconds.
Have a good week. Great show. Good night. Let's have some fun next week. And like I said, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, guys. Hit the thumbs button. If you can donate to Patreon, there's the website down there. Just a happy meal. Just don't go out. Just show your love, guys. Show your love for the Pancakes and Powerslams show, so I can keep doing some fun things for you all, so we can keep elevating the show after 7.5 years, man. We appreciate your donation. So, God bless you all. Have a good night, and enjoy your week of wrestling. I do it for you.